What's up, everybody? Callie and Laura here from insaga.com. I'm here with the mayor of Mississauga, Bonnie Crombie. How you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Lots going on. So I gotta ask, what everybody's talking about. Was it the Peel Transition Board's input? Was it Patrick Brown's, kind of public efforts to reverse this? Was it the Peel region? Or was it just straight politics? What happened here to the Peel split?
I don't think we'll know for sure what played a role, whether it was strictly politics or whether, Mayor Brown may manage to create some chaos and confusion. Or I don't think the transition board played a role in pausing the dissolution, because I know they were very committed to it. And they were working very actively to follow the instructions of the premier. Let's not forget that this was a hand-picked group by the premier, asked to dissolve the region of Peel by January 1st, 2025, and they were moving forward quickly. And I will say that at today's announcement, we witnessed that a number of their recommendations have been implemented, which included bringing land planning, roads down to the lower tiers, and looking at water and wastewater to put them into some sort of service delivery agency, which is exactly what they were mandated to do. So they are actually implementing a lot of the recommendations that had been made. So there are some remaining larger items, like the delivery of our health and human services, which are very critical services, critical to the residents of Mississauga, to Brampton, and to Caledon. And so they're looking at a broader structure to support those services at the region. And these are very critical services, like life-saving services that are very high value to our residents. And so, of course, we want to see them continued and uninterrupted in their delivery. And I know that the transition board had not made their final conclusions on delivering those services. So there remains very little at the region of Peel after today's announcement. So we're delighted that the work has been paused, but started in a different way. And we hope that the transition board will continue to do their work and continue to do their financial analysis and make further recommendations to the premier and the minister.
Have you talked to the premier in regards to this split over the last couple of weeks?
I have not spoken to the premier in months.
Okay. What do you think? Why do you think Patrick? Sorry, go ahead.
But I am aware that the transition board feeds their information in, and that that their findings are being heard by the minister, and that is being communicated up the chain.
Okay.
Let's not forget that this is a hand-picked group that the premier selected, and I have a lot of confidence in them as well, because they were tasked to drive efficiencies and duplication and waste, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Why do you think Mayor Patrick Brown of Brampton was so against the Peel split since the beginning?
Mayor Brown was creating a lot of misinformation and fear-mongering, and I can't speak to why he would do that, because clearly it's in his interests to control his own destiny and that of the future of his residents as well. I mean, there are 170 independent single-tier cities in Ontario, and I don't understand why Mississauga wouldn't want. Well, Mississauga wants to be among them. I don't understand why Brampton wouldn't want to be among them to control his own destiny. I can only suggest that he's become accustomed to being subsidized by the residents of the city of Mississauga. As you know, that we do fund the region of Peel, and there are significant transfers that are made to Brampton. And that does allow them to, as you have seen over the years, not increase their taxes as a result of the support they get from the city of Mississauga. There were 4 years where they froze taxes, and this year their tax rate is lower than the city of Mississauga. So whether they're able to stand on their own 2 feet, as they've demonstrated by their low tax rate, or they become accustomed to the financial subsidy they receive from Mississauga. In either case, I firmly believe that our tax dollars should be reinvested in our own cities.
And have you talked to Mayor Patrick Brown at all in regards to this Peel split?
he was on board. I know that he and his team were working along with the transition board. He's met with them. I've met with them. The transition board indicated to me that he was on board. I was looking forward to independence and controlling his own destiny. The reports that he has cited, I'm not familiar with. They have not been tabled for review. I don't know what assumptions they make. I don't think anyone has seen them. Quite frankly, I've mentioned that the Deloitte report that he claims was updated was created to justify the existence of the region of Peel. So, those are quite different assumptions that are being made, rather than if you're taking a very objective approach and saying, well, in the scenario of a separation or a dissolution, what advantages could there be? What cost savings could there be? What efficiencies could be driven? What duplication or waste could be eliminated? So far different kinds of assumptions would be made. And with respect to the other report, I think he said KPMG, no one has seen it. Not the transition board, and not anyone at Peel, certainly no one in Mississauga. So I
Okay.
can't speak to it. It would be, why don't I hope you'll challenge him to table it.
Okay.
We can all review it and take a look at the financial analysis that was done and the assumptions that are made in it. Hmm.
Can you appeal this?
Um, Can we? No, I think the answer to that is no. They have ultimate authority on this. But quite frankly, they've done a lot of what we had asked them to do. So to take departments, such services such as water, wastewater, planning, and roads, that they'd be delivered by the lower tier, by the lower tier cities. So that is very good news. That's something we've been asking for years. And to look at water, wastewater, and waste and put them into some sort of service delivery model, perhaps run by an independent board. Well, those are the very recommendations from the transition board. So they're actually implementing the recommendations from the transition. So what's remaining at the region would be Peel Police. And I know there was some desire to keep them intact. But then there was also, the province is committed, and I am as well, of course, to improving efficiencies and responsiveness of the region of Peel, and that include some of our other very valued services, like health and human services. And so, how those will be delivered is yet to be determined. And I think they're looking at improving the broader structure to support these services at the region, because no decisions had been made yet. And those are things like housing and supportive housing, rather subsidized housing, long-term care, of course, paramedic services. So those are things that there hadn't been decisions made yet. So I'm hopeful that what the Premier has, or the Minister have actually done is paused so that the transition board can do their work and make some decisions on delivery of those services. Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess now, with everything that transpired today, what do you have to say to the city of Mississauga residents that wanted to split from Peel?
Well, the announcement today is actually very good news. It's the non-dissolution dissolution. It's step one. It's phase one in a process. So we have some of the largest departments already being addressed, being placed into a service delivery model. So that's great news, and something we've been asking for a decade, if not more. Planning and roads being delivered by the lower tiers, because it is odd that some roads would be cleared by the region of Peel. Some roads, most roads, 80% of our roads cleared by the city of Mississauga. Same with the maintenance and upkeep. It didn't make sense that snow plows from the regions were coming down Dixie, whereas snow plows from the city were on parallel roads. It made no sense. And there was a lot of duplication of costs. So actually, this announcement is very good news. It's very good news.